and this is the Agents of Chaos podcast, where we talk about sports, politics, basically any current events that's going on in the country. But we really gonna be talking about sports more than anything on here. So if you think you're gonna listen to this podcast and we're gonna be talking about CNN, nah, we will
we
talk
ain't
about
doing that. Nah, we ain't doing that. We out on that.
Talk about youth sports. We're gonna talk about college, high school, NFL, NBA, all that stuff. So, what's going on with you, cuz?
Hey man, you know me, man. It is what it is. We nice out here in Cali with this weather. For the first time? What's it like with you though?
Bruh, it's finally hot. Man, it's been cold, but today it was like 86 degrees out there. And then they had the nerve in my job to have the heat on hell. So, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm doing good, man. I heard y'all got a lot of snow out there, so I might be moving to happens again next year because I'm a snow baby. Like, I love the snow, so I'm gonna have to get out there.
Yeah, it's like that out here. So, you know, right. I'm gonna jump right into it. We gonna we gonna talk about a lot of things, and
for sure.
We appreciate all y'all's feedback and everything like that. You know, people that's gonna be listening, people that's gonna be watching. We actually have the videos and everything up. But we're gonna jump right into it, and I'm gonna start it off with let's talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson's situation.
The agentless, right?
Yeah. So let's get into that. So you know what? I was gonna start off, but I want to know what you think, because right now my broad scope is this is a joke. This whole thing is a joke. But I want to hear what you got to say, and then I got a couple things I want to make points on. So what's your thoughts on what's happening, and where do you think would be the best fit for him if he doesn't stay with the Ravens?
I get what he's trying to do. Everybody wants to be independent. Everybody wants to say, I could do it by myself. I could do it by myself. They have sports agents for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. They're there for a reason. They're able to do things that you are unable to do, and they know things that you don't know. So for him to go after it like this, I'm kind of like, you're not going to get what you want to get. You're not going to get the numbers you're asking. You know what I mean? One, you didn't finish 2 seasons, I think, healthy. He got injured at the end of both seasons. So you're guaranteed money. Unfortunately, you're not going to do it. And the longer he draws this out, the worse it looks for him. I think Baltimore wants him back. Of course, they're going to want him back at the numbers that they want for him. I think Lamar just needs to go ahead and just stop, take a break, shut everything down, get off of social media, because you're posting crazy stuff on social media that's going to look bad against you. And don't get me wrong, I think Roquan Smith did something very similar, right? And ended up getting the deal he wanted from Baltimore, right? So I don't think that's going to work twice. I just don't. I think the way Roquan did it and the way Ryan Poles and them handled it kind of allowed it to work out for him. I don't see that happening twice. I don't see lightning striking twice in this type of a situation. And then a report came out about somebody acting as if he's his agent and they can't talk. So for me, the waters are getting muddy. It's getting murky. It's not really about football anymore. Now it's about how much money can I secure for myself, just in case I don't believe I'm going to make it out the rest of the season. Because he hasn't. The last 2 seasons, he hasn't. He's been injured.
That's true.
So he's probably he's like, yo, I want to protect myself as best as possible, so I want guaranteed money. But you haven't guaranteed perform. He has performed, but you haven't guaranteed that you've been able to end the season. And when we go into the playoffs, we're going to need a quarterback of your caliber. And we just haven't seen that you've been able to be healthy the last 2 seasons. So I think he's kind of drawing it out and playing himself a little bit, to be honest with you, guys.
Well, you know, not that we agree on some things, but I'm going to disagree with you on this.
For sure.
I don't think it has anything to do with his agent or him not having an agent. I don't really think it has anything to do with that, because, to be honest with you, there's players that negotiate their deals without agents all the time. It's just that this is a much more high-profile situation because, you know, everybody makes the, argument. Larry Tunsil, he's been negotiating his contract for ever since he got in the league, and one of the highest-paid offensive linemen in the NFL right now. So I don't really think it's a matter of him not being able to negotiate. I do agree with some points that you made. I feel like because he hasn't been healthy, there's always going to be the risk. There's always going to be the risk factor. You don't want to end up when a situation like how San Francisco did. You know, everybody's getting hurt. You paying all these guys, and nobody's playing. And you know, or a Kyler Murray situation, or even a Dak Prescott situation. Because you look where Dallas is at now. They paid Dak Prescott. They couldn't keep Zeke. They overpaid everybody else, and you're gonna have to keep paying Dak, and you're not gonna be able to get high-profile guys.
But to be fair, Lamar Jackson's performances have been way better than Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah, all of those guys.
I'm saying so.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And you know, people make the argument, oh, you know, he didn't. What playoff wins has he had? You know, I'm not even worried about all that right now because you got to get there. And the bottom line is that he puts you in a position to get there every year. And you look at Kirk Cousins. What has he done? You know, what has he done? And it ain't his agent. He just gets paid because that's what the market dictates. And I feel like Lamar is just going with what the market dictates. I'm pretty sure if we go back in history, we can find wide receivers that got paid that shouldn't have probably got paid what they did, but that's what the market demanded. And they make the same case for Kirk Cousins. So I feel like Baltimore doesn't want him. They want him on a discount. Right. If they can get a bargain, if they can squeeze him and do all those things, they're going to wait. If I was him, I wouldn't play. I ain't playing next year.
I don't think he is.
I ain't playing next year. I'm not taking a deal. I'm not changing nothing. I'm not playing next year. And I'll tell you this, if he doesn't, he's not going to set a precedent. He's not going to change the game. He's just going to be another player that sat out because he wanted some money. Because the NFL machine is way too big. And they ain't even going – the guys have sat out before. Ricky Williams walked away from the game for 3 years to smoke weed when he should – which is fine, which he should have been doing that anyway because now he ain't addicted.
It's better than anything they give you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's better than perks that they giving you. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, I feel like this is going to just get worse. If anything, I don't see it getting better. I don't feel like that this is a situation that's going to get rectified unless it happens what you say. Everything gets quiet. People just stop talking about it. They stop thinking about it. The season starts up. It gets nauseating. And then after that, there's more headlines, and he's not the headline before. The only reason why he's the headline right now is because it's the offseason. Ain't nothing to talk about.
Ain't nothing to talk about. Right. There's really nothing to talk about. Yeah.
So we're let's play devil's advocate. He doesn't re-sign. Where does he go? And why do you think he should go there?
If I'm any team, didn't Houston pick at 3?
Yeah.
I'm on the phone. If I'm Houston, I'm like, hey, let's talk.
All in.
I got 2 first rounders this year. I got 2 first rounders next year. You know what I'm saying? Harrison Jr. comes out. You know what I mean? So there's an opportunity that you can land a guy like that.
I like that kid.
To get a caliber quarterback like Lamar Jackson and then still have draft picks this year and still have some draft picks next year, I'm going to get on the phone. At least hear me out. At least to hear them out to see what they want. I mean, I don't know if they're going to ask for a king's ransom for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Might be if you're trying to get desperate. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm Houston, I'll definitely pick up the phone and make a call. I don't know about Washington, bro. I'm going to stick with Houston because then you could swap. Now Baltimore gets to move up in the draft. You move up from wherever they are to 3. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge jump where you could possibly get the quarterback of the future that you want. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what I would do. If I'm the Texans or if I'm Baltimore and we like, yo, we can't reach an agreement with this dude, let's just trade him. Yeah. And let's get the best we can get for him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a first rounder this year with the flip. You know what I'm saying? And then a first rounder next year. You know what I mean? Maybe some compensatory picks or some later round picks and then let it go. And then move on from it. Like, don't try to get a king's ransom from someone to make him be forced to stay. Yeah. Because you don't want to stay. You don't want him. So then just make a move that's good for both parties and let him go.
You know, I'm going to say this and then I'll move on. But Colts, why not? If you're the Colts, you in a division that is up for grabs. Right now, it's Jacksonville's division. It's up for grabs. You got Tennessee, who don't know. They all in flux. You got, like you said, Houston's one of those teams. You already got a solid running back. You got a number one wide receiver. I mean, Michael Pittman's good. You got Jonathan Taylor. If I'm them, make that move. Because at this point, I'm either trying to go get Lamar Jackson if I'm the Colts, or I'm selling the farm. And starting over.
So I agree, but at the same time, the Colts have never done well with veteran quarterbacks.
Yeah.
What was it? From the Chargers, Phillip Rivers,
yeah.
Carson Wentz,
Matt Ryan.
Like I'm gonna keep going down. It hasn't been good. So if I'm the Colts, I'm probably not even looking at him, and I'm looking at a younger quarterback. You mean to tell I'm the Colts, and I'm like, yo, we want to build our team. I think they had like one of the second youngest teams in the league, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a veteran. I may get a veteran to come on and teach my younger guy, but you got a quarterback like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young out there that because the Panthers moved up with Chicago, and now Chicago's back down at 9. So now whoever the Panthers take, which I've heard because my homeboy that works at my job, his girlfriend's best cousin, her boyfriend, that his homeboy that worked with him told him that they like CJ.
I'm about to say, how many places you finna go with this?
right, that they like Will Levis. So could you imagine if the Panthers take Will Levis at 1, and then Bryce and CJ fall, and if Baltimore makes the flip, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Texas get it, then you have then the Colts look like geniuses. So
my thing with the Colts, and I'm gonna piggyback off that. I don't disagree with that part of it, but think about this: Lamar Jackson's young, veteran or not, he's young, and they ain't got no O-line. So you get a guy who's young to try to come in his franchise. It's gonna be a Justin Fields situation. It's gonna have to be the first year. He gonna have to try to escape. He gonna have to try to make plays when ain't no plays to be made, and that's exactly what Justin Fields did. And Justin Fields made plays, and now they got through the year. He's relatively healthy, and now they get to build. And that's what I think. That's the problem with Baltimore right now. Because here's the reason why I'm not staying with Baltimore. Who do they draft? They don't draft well at all. If they draft defense,
they draft corners, they draft defense. They remind me of Chicago for the last 20 billion years. They draft
defense better than anybody. They draft defense.
They draft defense. They don't draft you offensive weapons. They don't do it.
And this is why I don't trust the Colts organization. Period. They don't draft well either. What quarterbacks have they drafted besides Peyton Manning? You had 12 years to try to get a backup. At least
and killed him in 6, in 4.
And that was unfortunate. But then look at the Packers. Absolutely. Look at the Packers. Jordan Love look okay. He look okay to me. Give him a chance. I think Jordan Love will be all right. Give him a chance. You never know. He sat behind. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for that long. I know that's the Packers, and I know it's your rival, but
got a green background, bro, so I'm not tripping. Like, you know, I'm trying to be neutral. But my parents' bias damn near jumped out of me right there. Like, but
yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. I want to. I know you said a little bit about how you haven't really watched a lot of college basketball, and we both been kind of on and off with college basketball, but. Everybody watched the tournament. I watched the tournament. I actually watched a little bit of the women's tournament too. It was a little bit. It was exciting, especially like the Final Four.
Right.
But you and I had a conversation just in passing. We was talking about like all these teams that don't have all these things. Give me your thoughts on the transfer portal now, and the way things is working with the transfer portal, not just with football, but now with basketball.
I love it if you're transferring for the right reasons. If you're transferring because, oh man, my coach ain't letting me get no time, and you're not really putting in the effort, and you're just trying to jump from squad to squad to where you'll be a starter, you're whack. Like, that's not what I think the portal is for. Right. The portal should genuinely be for players who are like, yo, this is the best opportunity for me. You know what I'm saying? For me to be able, because I found out that Reese, Angel Reese, she was in Maryland.
Yeah.
She transferred from Maryland to LSU, and she won herself a chip. Like, you see what I'm saying? She went for the best situation. Maybe she wasn't getting the ticket she was supposed to get in Maryland, or wasn't getting the time she was supposed to get. So,
right.
I mean, I like it now because it scatters your talent around. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard to scout because you can scout a guy to come to, like, let's say UNC or Kentucky.
Yeah.
And maybe he just doesn't hold up. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to hop in the portal and I'm going to go to Marquette. But I'm going to ball out more, though, and then I'm going to see y'all in the final Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, whatever the case may be. Right. So you really give players an opportunity to shine and develop themselves. You know what I mean? So in the beginning, I was kind of against it, but seeing the way this played out, the way a lot of these low seed teams was knocking some of these higher seed teams in the head, and you really couldn't tell, like, it was unpredictable kind of. It made it good.
My bracket was done day one. My bracket was done day one. Believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Bracket was done.
Busted
after the bracket was done day one.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the transfer portal. I've never been for this being in education, working in education. I've never been for this. Oh, you know, you should be so honored that, you know, you got a scholarship and education is free and you know, all of that stuff. But, you know, it's cool in theory. But ultimately, what ends up happening is that you run into situations where, oh, now this person's not playing, or, you know, now they stuck doing here. And they're like, oh, well, just enjoy your education. No, I'm looking for my other opportunities. You only get one. You don't get very many opportunities to make an impact, like at a college, collegiate level, or at a pro level. So go where you're going to play. And that's what matters to me. Go where you're going to play. You can't learn from being on the bench. I don't care what nobody tell you. You could be North Carolina, Duke. There's a lot of them guys that's been sitting on the bench at Duke or sitting someplace else, and then I learned, and then they go to the league. No, they ain't going to the league.
So right there, not to cut you, I'm going to pressure you right there, because prior, when we just had the conversation about Green Bay, you had said how it was good that they learned under someone else.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the more I think about it, it's like, but in college you only got 4 years. You can't sit on the bench 4 years and get it. So I get it. But so like maybe if you sit behind a good player, maybe a year or two, maybe a red first year, then develop a little bit. But if you're sitting 2.5, I'm going to go ahead and make that move.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Or even if you got D1 talent, let's just talk about hoops for a second. If you got D1 talent, but you're sitting on the bench because you can't play, why not play D2? Play D2.
I got you.
Because a lot of these other schools are getting into the opportunities to get into the dance. You get 1 or 2 guys that's D1 on a bench somewhere, and then they end up going to the same place. Now you got these 2 D1 talent level guys on a D2 team that can get into the dance and knock some of these other unsuspecting teams off. Because the teams that they playing against is the ones that think that they're going to win. But the ones that were sitting on the bench is coming for their head. They want
they got to lose.
They got nothing to lose. And everything to win.
Money.
When you a Cinderella story, look, you're a Cinderella story. They don't talk about, you know, how did the marriage go with Prince Charming. They just talk about getting swept off your feet. That's all they care about.
House with the picket fence. They don't talk about what goes on inside the house.
Right. The dream sounds better than the actuality. So they like being in Sweet 16, knocking off a Sweet 16, being a 16 seed, knocking off a number 1. They gonna remember you than knocking off the number 1 more so than they're gonna remember. Oh, they didn't finish in the Sweet 16. Nobody cared.
Ain't nobody gonna care no more. We knocked off. We was 16 seed, bro. We was supposed to be out week 1.
Yeah.
Here we are week 5. You know what I'm saying? Still knocking teams up. So no, I fully agree with that.
Ain't nobody worried about that. Ain't nobody worried about that. So I wanted to ask this question, and I'll start moving. We'll get to, you mentioned Angel Reese. We're gonna get to that slightly.
Okay.
We're gonna touch on that a little bit. But I want to talk, because I already know reactions is gonna be. I can see your face. Everybody that's listening, that's just listening, you can't see his face, but he got that man, I'll smack her. You know what?
Like, bro,
let's go. You know what? Go ahead. Just go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts. The whole Angel Reese, Caitlyn, Caitlyn's her name is escaping me right now, but
Caitlyn.
What's that?
Caitlyn
Clark. I knew it was 2 seed. I thought it was 2 seed.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your thoughts. I know what I'm gonna say, but I want to hear what you gotta say.
There's no story there, bruh. There's no story there. Like, what are we talking about? Okay, like, so you're listening to people say, "Oh, do you think that this was disrespectful? Do you think?" There's no storyline here. So Caitlyn Clark did the John Cena to South Carolina. Then she fleed the joint off doing like this. And basket, she knew she wasn't going to shoot. And I know your percentage is trash. So you're going to brick and I'm going to hit the ball.
But she's been doing that all tournament, though. She's been doing that all tournament.
But she's a competitor.
Exactly.
Like, that's what they do.
Right.
Angel Reese is a competitor too, right? So she did it back to her, right? Mm-hmm. Do I agree with her following her around? No, I probably wouldn't have done that. Like, if you're going to call it taunting, then go ahead, whatever. But still, there's no story there. Caitlyn Clark, if you look at her face when she's doing it, she's ignoring her because she understands it's part of the game. It's part of the game. After the game, when she was crying, she wasn't crying because she got taunted. She was crying because she lost. Right? So she's not crying. Oh my God, the girl with the hair. She was waiting her hair in my face. She didn't cry. She wasn't crying because of that. Yeah. So the media decides to go like Dave Portnoy and all them. Because I'm watching Instagram.
Oh, I heard what he said.
They decide to go nuts with nothing, with no storyline. So what ends up happening now is it becomes a white woman versus black woman thing, and it wasn't it. It was two competitors going at each other. Yeah. Caitlyn Clark didn't say nothing about it. She understands it. She respects it. Now, me, if I'm Angel Reese, being that I only had 15 points and Caitlyn Clark dropped 30 on my medulla, I'm probably not going to do that at the end of the game. Because Caitlyn Clark seems the type to me that she's about to be in somebody's gym right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Preparing to mop up whoever comes next season. So I heard that. Isn't Angel Reese, isn't she a senior?
I'm not 100% sure. She might be.
I heard that she's a senior, and I heard that Caitlyn Clark is a junior.
Yes, Caitlyn Clark's not eligible to go to the WNBA draft yet.
Come back and blow all your underclassmen out the water. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't do that. Like, that was just me. Like, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, was it like, did you have to do it? Probably not. Like, it was no real big thing. You literally dusted them in the chip. They never had a lead on you. You know what I'm saying? She did drop 30. They never had a lead. And what's more upsetting to me is the fact that you take away from the fact that this was probably the most watched women's game in women's college history. Yeah. And then you also take away from the fact that what's the babe name? Carson, the other chick that was this
balled out
all game. But we're not talking about that though. We're literally talking about a hand gesture between two competitors.
That girl Carson. She legitimately had a Mike Miller game 6. He balled out. I don't know if I can't remember if Mike Miller did it against. I want to say it was against the Thunder. It might have been against the Spurs, but I know Mike Miller hit 7 threes and had 21 points. Shorty.
Here's the thing. We're not talking about this. This is the monument we should be talking about. Yes. I think the tickets were like $400 and something. This was packed out. Everybody was watching this game. And we're going to try to find something so minuscule between two talented athletes, two competitors who respect the competition, to try to make it something it's not. It's dumb. And this is what everybody asks. So do you feel that was disrespectful? No. There's no storyline here, but they want to make it one. Let me move on. Talk about the fact that it was the most watched women's NCAA game in history. Talk about how it was the fact that the coach transferred, I think, and she took it, how old girl transferred and she was able to do this. Talk about the fact that Caitlyn Clark can stand anywhere in an arena and shoot the ball and guarantee it's going in. Those are the things we should be talking about, the greatness of it, not something so dumb as this. Because here's the thing, if you call taunting or whatever, does it change the outcome of the game?
No.
They were up 10 or whatever. What are we doing?
They won by 18. They won by 16, I think.
It's stupid to me now. And then people trying to make it like a black-white thing, and there's no color issue here. These are two talented people who are monster competitors and like to go after it. Hell, Reese drew a ring on her finger. That's how confident she is that he was gonna win.
Yeah, listen. I'm all with you, man. I'm with you. There is almost little to no storyline in here. But here's where I'm gonna take it. It is a black and white thing. And I'm gonna tell you why. Who owns social media? Who owns the news stations?
I get you.
Who asked the question whether it was disrespectful or not? I guess I tell you this much: it wasn't black people.
I feel you.
Because here's the thing: this is backfired on white people that have a problem with black women in sports and everybody, just black athletes. Period. This ain't even a woman thing, because who's asking the question? Is it disrespectful? Guess what? We not, because we know exactly what you said. It's a competitive game. You're talking trash. Who puts parameters on how you talk trash, or who you talk trash to, or what? We celebrate Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan would find anything
on the court.
He don't even know what he was like. Yo, man, did you eat a bratwurst last night? Man, I hate bratwurst. I'm finna drop 50 on you. Like that's what it was. So we sitting here, like you said, we should be talking about this. And despite my problems with the 3-point shot with Steph Curry, love his game, destroyed basketball. But because of that, but somebody like Caitlin Clark, who would be like equivalent to like Steph Curry, I think that's wonderful for the women's game. I think it's wonderful for women's college basketball. I think it's wonderful for the WNBA moving forward to have somebody who is going to be a transcendent type of talent like she is. Don't get it twisted. She's the best player on the court. She's the best player, hands down, on the court.
She's going to be a monster.
Game that she's playing.
She's going to be a monster next year.
Yeah. Angel Reese did what she did. She had 15 and 10. That's how she played. She's not a one-man team. The other girl on the team had 21. The biggest problem I saw with Iowa is that they was too reliant on two players. It was her and Sedano. And it wasn't them two scoring. They don't have a deep enough bench.
Right.
And that was the problem in the South Carolina game. The South Carolina game was South Carolina didn't have no shooters. Because guess what? We see guys in the NBA do it all the time, leave guys out there. Like people leave Draymond Green out there sometimes because 9 times out of 10 he's not going to shoot. So I don't even have a problem with her waving the chick off.
None of it.
So none of it. But it has turned into something racial. It's turned into something black versus white, and I think it's stupid because we wasn't the ones asking this question. So it should have never been brought up in the first place. It should have always been about who she's playing against, what's the reason why. Whatever Angel Reese's reasons is for doing it, I don't care. She's justified in whatever. You can talk your trash when you play and you win. You can talk your trash. It just is what it is. I wouldn't have had no problem with Caitlin talking trash during the game, still doing this.
No, it's until a part
until the clock strikes zeros. That's the whole point of being competitive.
And it never got physical like old girl from Memphis when she lost and she walked down the line and punched old girl in the face, right?
Yeah. See that now that there's no place for that.
So this is not like this. So again, bro, like I don't see a storyline here, and I'm listening, and I'm like, I don't get it because this. Like when we talk about like the racial lines and all that, and the social media and stuff. My thing is, any fire that's lit needs oxygen to burn, right? So if you stop, if you don't focus on it, it'll fizzle out. It will no longer be talked about, right? So every time, like, why is this another topic? Why is this another topic? And it's almost like they're struggling to talk about it because there's really nothing there. You know, it's really nothing there. Like if you want to make it something that it's not, bro. It's not. So I mean, in the beginning, I was looking at it. And I was looking at it from both sides. And then I saw Caitlin Clark's reaction to it. She took it You won.
Yeah.
You won.
You can't say anything.
But when you're a competitor, it hurts.
Yeah. Listen, it hurts. When you lose, you can't say nothing.
Yeah. And
it don't matter.
Took the L. She took the L. My thing is, like I said, I don't think I would do that to a player like her. Like, I wouldn't do that to a Kobe. I wouldn't do that to a Michael. You know what I'm saying? And the way she plays, she's like, when I see you, because I guarantee you they're both going to the league. How their future goes there, they're going to the league. But I will say this. When they meet in the league, I think Caitlin Clark's going to have a different personality, because what I did find out was that when Reese was at Maryland, she faced Caitlin Clark 3 times and beat her. So right now, Reese has the upper hand. She's 4-0.
Hey.
She's 4-0.
Hey, look, that's something I didn't even know.
Yeah, she's 4-0.
That's something I didn't know.
I think she beat her 3 times when she was in Maryland and came to LSU and then won in the finals against her. So,
oh man, then she can talk. She can talk big.
Talking.
She can talk big.
No matter where I'm at, I got your number.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. No matter where I'm at, I got your number. You
can get 30. We got the chip.
Yeah, well, I got the dub. So yeah, I don't think that there's a storyline. I was thinking, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, there's nothing here. And they're trying to put stuff in it. There's really nothing there. There's nothing. I believe there's nothing there.
I agree with that, and I think that there was something there, and then it shouldn't have been anything there. Like it should have been nothing. Like when the question was initially asked by whomever asked the question, it should have just been, what? No, that's stupid. Yeah. They're competitors.
The first place I saw it come from was Dave Portnoy.
See,
that's the first place I saw it. I didn't see it anywhere else. Then he starts going on about it, and then all of a sudden everybody's making it a thing.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like who brought it up? Because I guarantee you, the people who aren't the Black personalities in sports that can make an impact are who? Stephen A. Smith, you know what I mean? Maybe Shaq or Charles Barkley, or if that TNT crew talked about it. None of them said anything. None of them. But if you get the president of Barstool Sports calling her a piece of, now it's a thing. Like now it's a thing. It's just,
but
again, it is.
Again,
but it shouldn't be.
Hey, you should never argue with a fool, because from a distance, no one can tell who was who.
Yeah.
Right. Like, keep scrolling. Listen, like, every time I saw him write something, I just kept scrolling. I'm like, that's not it. That's not it.
And you know what else? Here's something else, people out there. Just because you make money does not mean you're smart.
Absolutely.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean you're smart. It doesn't mean everybody needs to listen to you because you got money. You just have money. You were successful, good business person.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that every life tip you have, every sports analogy that you want to come up with, every experience, the things that you that don't give you carte blanche to just tell people how to do things with their life just because you got money.
Absolutely.
Let's just keep it a buck.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Hey, that's respect of the check-in. You feel me? Like that?
Hey, that's in the future, we are going to have that. We are going to be respected and checking. Either you're going to respect the point, or we're going to check you on that point, and we're going to have to talk about it. And that's what we're going to be doing on this podcast.
You got to pull up to the podcast, baby.
You're going to have to pull up. So this is something that I thought about too. And like I said, future podcast, we're going to get into a little deeper. We're going to talk just real quick, a little bit about the NBA.
Okay.
And then we'll close things out. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about the NBA. I don't know how much, like I said, I know you probably watched a little bit. We watched the standings, we checked things out, but there's two things I want to touch on that I want to get your feedback on.
Sure.
And the first one is the Kyrie Irving and Dallas currently right now not in the playoffs. Okay.
Right.
They made this move.
Not Kyrie's fault.
It's not Kyrie's fault.
Not Kyrie's fault.
Not Kyrie. I don't blame Kyrie. But you got that move. You got Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers, which Russell has not won this year as a starter, unless something happened recently, and we won't know that. and Paul George is out for the Clippers. And to me, it's wide open right now in the West. Everybody thinks it's just some top seeds. I'm not a believer in Denver. I never will be until they win. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I'm not a believer. To me, Denver's like the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely.
It looks nice, feels good story.
Right.
But I'm not buying. Not sold. I even though Chris Paul has had zero success, I still trust the Phoenix Suns more, especially if they get KD back. But I want to know your thoughts on what does Kyrie do at this point moving forward?
Nothing. Keep doing what you're balling the fuck out. No, nothing. Yeah. I think Kyrie is equivalent.
Does he stay in Dallas? If you're Kyrie, do you stay in Dallas? Or do you try to go to the Lakers next year?
I'd stay in Dallas, bro. I was excited when he went to Dallas. I was excited when he went to Dallas, right? I like the move. This is his first year, so give it some time. You know what I'm saying?
Not even a whole year.
I equate Kyrie Irving because the way they're going after him is kind of like how they went after Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to strip Kyrie out of the league. And even with the whole Twitter thing, like he didn't make the movie. All he did was share the link. And my man had to apologize, but y'all still downloaded it and y'all still let Netflix and everybody else make money off of it. But you tried him and you tried to kill Kyrie Irving. And yet when you see that man with a basketball in his hand, nothing matters.
Yeah.
He's magical. If I'm Kyrie, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not listening to nobody like I've been doing. I'm eating my vegan Fruit Loops and whatever else he be doing, and I'm hooping. And I'm not worried about it. Like I said, it's not his fault. He's playing his heart out. The team has to galvanize itself. When LeBron went to Miami, I don't think it looked good right away. Right? No. It didn't look good right away. When Kyrie, when you go to these new places, it's not going to look good right away. Him and Luka are great. Everybody plays great in the All-Star games together because there's no defense. And you just get it's like almost like free park ball.
Yeah.
Give them a year or two together. That team is going to be solid in the West.
Yeah.
Like, so if I'm Kyrie, I'm doing what I've always been doing. I'm turning the background noise down. I'm back in the gym. I'm working. I don't care if we don't make the playoffs this year. Y'all was shook when y'all saw we was here. And I'm still giving y'all fits with my squad. We're going to get better next year and make a couple acquisitions. I would just stay. I wouldn't move. If I'm Kyrie, I'm not moving. Because I think he has the best. If you ask me, the Dallas Mavericks, their main guy,
Mark Cuban.
I think he's the best one in the league, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's the best one in the league. And I think he lets players be them. That's why I think it's a great fit for Kyrie. I don't see him coming down.
I definitely agree with you. I agree with you on that. I think Mark Cuban is
and at this point now, you can really grow and we can see you be that lead dog. Because with somebody like Luka, who I think Luka soft is baby shit to me. I don't really, he's not.
He talk a lot.
Yeah, but then he be falling and doing like a lot of soft stuff. Like he don't. So I have never, and it's crazy because I see a lot of the highlights. I've never watched the full game because I'm like, I can't get through it because it looks like he whines a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I'm Kyrie, I'm staying there. I think they'll do good together. I think they'll galvanize and come together as a squad. If I'm Kyrie, I'm staying, man. I'm staying, and I'm trying to run something in the West. I don't know how much more the Lakers have.
Yeah,
Anthony getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much more they have. I don't really know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
reason why I brought that up is just because he's gonna be a free agent next year. So he can go wherever he wants. He can go wherever he wants to. And who can withstand the lure of LA? I mean, that's the thing. But I'm with you though. Well, I get it. You can. Well, no, but you shouldn't. You should be in California. Put your hand down. You shouldn't even be where you at. You know what? I retract asking you that question. But I will say this. I agree that for Kyrie to be himself, I think that's a good place for him. If that's what he wants to do, he wants to be him, and he wants to just be able to express himself. Don't nobody care what he's talking about in Dallas. But when you in Brooklyn and you playing with KD and you playing with James Harden, there's just certain things. You in a New York market, there's just certain things you can and can't do. And it just is what it is. That's another segment that we'll be doing. But it just is what it is. It comes with the territory.
It is what it is.
Because like you just have to look. You're a professional athlete, and I think Stephen A. Smith makes one of the best points. Kyrie's biggest problem is hardly ever the fact that he talks too much.
Right.
It's because he don't never show up to work. He don't play.
His call outs. His call outs is crazy.
His call
outs is crazy.
Right. If I'm HR, look, listen, bro. If I'm HR, I'm pulling Kyrie. I'm like, hold on, dog. Like,
you got a couple no call, no shows, and I don't understand why. Maybe that's why your legs are so fresh. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not showing up to work.
Like, he don't show up to work. That's his problem. He don't show up to work. And until that changes, till he stays someplace and goes and plays for a couple years and just end your career there. Stay in Dallas, end your career there, play a couple more years, then go be Kanye if that's what you want to do. But I'll segue on this point because I know we differ, and we're gonna talk about this. We differ on guys chasing, quote unquote. I don't call it chasing to me. I think you chasing championships when you go from one championship team to another championship team, like another contender. Like KD was chasing to begin with. He just wanted to get one so bad. He just was like, I just got to go to Golden State. He should have never left because he wasn't ever going to win anywhere else. So hold on. Before you get in, I want to say this. I love AI. AI, one of the greatest players to me, never won a championship. I don't care how many rings. I don't care. He's one of the most influential players in the NBA to ever play in the NBA. He brought hip hop to the NBA.
He's the whole
cool. Yeah. He made it cool. He got famous lines. Practice. But I was a Sixers fan. And I watched them squander one of the best players to ever play basketball because they couldn't put a decent team around him. So then he tried to go to Denver. Then he ended up trying to go to Detroit so he could play some more. And he never got an opportunity. He had one chance. He ended up having to play against Kobe and Shaq. And that was the only opportunity he had. And his best second player was Dikembe Mutombo. Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, Theo Ratliff. Like, these are the people that he's playing with. Tyrone Hill. Damian Lillard needs to get out of Portland. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They're killing him.
I get it. Okay?
Tell him go to Milwaukee, bro.
I'm going to say it one more time.
Tell him go to Milwaukee. Him and Oladipo will be some beasts.
Listen, I get it, man. You want to be the guy that's loyal. You want to be the guy that says, "Oh, it don't matter if I win this shit." Yes, it does. It matters to you, or else you wouldn't play. It matters to you. He needs to go someplace where he's going to have a chance to win a championship. I'm sorry, they haven't built it for him in Portland. He's only gotten to the Western Conference Finals once, and they got blown out. So I don't want to see players like him have that issue. And that's what I don't like when I see this. Because guess what? Them GMs don't care about you, bruh.
No.
Don't care about you. Nobody does. This ain't 1980. This ain't when the Lakers had 5 Hall of Famers on their team. This ain't when the Boston Celtics had 7 Hall of Famers on their team and they was winning championships back to back because people was putting teams together. They don't do that anymore. They want to sell tickets. They want to get people in the stands. I remember a line for one of the rap groups that I like, Little Brother. And they said, each year they come out, we the next big thing. Because it's so much fun. He said it's so much more fun being your opening act. Right. so it's like it's always cool when you're on the verge. And if you're on the verge every year, oh man, I'm about to blow up. Oh man, we about to blow up. You always on the verge. But this ain't no verge for him. They get close, don't win. And nobody cares about you. And all the GMs want, they just want to be close to winning. They don't care about winning because then there's too much pressure to keep doing it.
Right.
It's better to just be so close. The Dallas Cowboys have been living on so close for the past 28 years.
Bruh, they've been living on them Super Bowls. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, listen. Look.
Come on, man.
And I hate that. Everybody knows I do. But I'm also a realist. Y'all been living off of them chips for the past 28 years. And they always on TV. They still get people coming to the games. It's going to be sold out all the time because that franchise is bigger than the team's success.
Right. But see, so here's my thing. Dallas has been bad, right? But Jerry Jones is a genius because as bad as they are, you're going to see them every Thanksgiving.
And that's what he's supposed to do.
All day long. So he's doing his job.
He's not
putting them together to do their job.
That ain't his job. He thinks it is, but it's not. But he's the owner. He's supposed to do that. But Damian Lillard, I if I'm a GM or the player personnel for the Portland Trailblazers, I'm ashamed of myself.
Well, when is he a free agent? How long is he there for? Is he out?
I don't know, bro. If anything happens for him in his prime, he's going to have to get traded. He's going to have to get traded. I mean, the boy dropped 60, man. Like last month, he dropped a 60 burger on a humbug. Just like it's wasted talent. You know where you need to go.
Yeah.
You need to go to Philly. That's where you need to go.
Just keep away from Meek Mill.
Listen.
Just keep him away.
Sixers. Trade Tobias Harris. No, trade Tobias Harris. And anything else they want except Harden and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I give up.
You put Damian Lillard with a facilitator like James Harden and a big man like Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
You forget it. You mark my words.
He's locked down at that point.
Listen, it's locked down now. It's a wrap. Yeah. You might as well sew one on up. Y'all better start getting some things together. Or Boston. Get Jaylen Brown out of there.
Jesus Christ. Yo, if he goes to any one of them two teams in the East, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He'll get his shot.
Yeah.
He'll get a shot. So that's where I'm at with it, man. I just want to see him in a better situation. Good, talented guy. Like I said, reminds me of AI, and I just hate seeing guys just seem like they wasted careers.
Well, see, like my whole thing on the loyalty thing has changed. Like I'm still a loyal person. Like I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being loyal to stuff. At this day and age, it's just not about that in the game. Right? It's not really about like sticking around and being able to beat someone. You know what I mean?
The Warriors are an anomaly. The Warriors and the Bucks are an anomaly.
Well, see, what I'm saying is when I remember watching remember we had his airness with Michael Jordan, right? And so Mike was like, when Magic retired, Mike got mad because he was like, I have to beat you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It wasn't enough. He only beat him once.
Nowadays, it's like, yo, it's based off of how many chips you got. Like, no matter how bad Eli Manning is, he got 2 chips.
Guess how many Aaron Rodgers got?
Got 2 chips. He beat Tom Brady twice. Tom Brady gets dominated by the NFC East, this is what it is.
I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it is what it is. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do I think it'd be way more fun if the competition was spread out? Absolutely. But I get it. At the end of the day, we realize that these GMs, that these organizations, they really don't care about the players. So you have to get your bag. I get it. But I'm also a firm believer in, if you're smart, I don't have to get $100 million from the Knicks, because Carson Palmer, when he wanted out in Cincinnati, they said, "Oh, you got to play." He said, "Bro, I got $20 million in the bank. I don't have to play for you." No. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my money from other stuff. So if you're focusing on protecting your bag, don't let that just be what you do in the NBA. Get some things on the side. Like Marshawn Lynch, he says, "Yo, protect your chicken, go to work." You know what I'm saying? And do what you're supposed to do. Rob Gronkowski, as crazy as he is, when he slammed Steve Harvey's Lego head, like I thought Steve Harvey was gonna throw him off the damn float. But said, I'm only spending my endorsement checks. Right? So anything from Nickelodeon or any commercial, he said, that's the money I'm spending. My game check's going into my account.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if these athletes are smarter with their money, and there's millions of ways to make money outside of the league, because what I found out, what I didn't know before, was these big contracts that they get, it's not necessarily based off, like, so if you get like a $200 million contract, it's not going to be because you're worth $200 million. It's because the organization believes the amount of money you'll bring in jersey sales and ticket sales and stuff like that is worth the amount.
It's more to it than that.
$1
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're going to give you this because we think you can generate this type of money for us.
Right.
So it's backloaded to where like, yo, like everybody's going to go out and buy your jersey. People are going to go, they're going to want to go, follow your Instagram or all your content, or, you know what I'm saying? You do this and all that money comes back to us because they want to come see you. So that's where those big contracts come from. It's not really on the fact that you're out there killing yourself on the court. It's because little Jimmy want to wear your jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right, man. I think that
go get your bag. Like I still want players to be able to get that money, but still keep the competition, because it's kind of starting to feel like we said with Kyrie, man, I don't feel like going to work today. You know what I'm saying? Like going to work.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean?
And
I want to competitive nature in there, and they still protect their bag.
I got you, man. I'm with you on that. And that's the thing. Like with me, it's just like I want to see competitive. I want to see competition. Right. And unfortunately, we get robbed of that because guys don't take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
GMs don't take care of them. Don't take care of their players. Look at Zion Williamson. We've been talking about him for 4 years. That brother ain't played, but I don't know how many games. So if
I'm Zion, I'm firing my trainer.
Man, I think that the NBA is taking the right steps to move forward with this with the CBA, considering making guys have to play a certain amount of games in order for you to get paid.
Yeah.
All this rest time and this load management crap, all that foolishness. Listen, man, I get it. They want to make sure the quality of the competition stays well. That's fine, but don't not for the integrity of the game. Not at the cost of the integrity of the game. To me, if you miss a certain amount of games, you shouldn't be considered for NBA All-Team. You shouldn't be considered for NBA All-Star games. You shouldn't be considered for the MVP. Like by the time the NBA All-Star games come around, it's like 50-something games. If you ain't played 40 games, you can't go.
Right.
You can't
put a cap on. Put a cap on.
Like, hey, just bottom line.
Like if you're not
if you don't play 70. If you don't play 70 games for the NBA off defensive team or the NBA all NBA team, you can't be on it. If you don't play 78 games, you can't be the MVP. It's just like, to me, that's what they need to start doing. So we'll see. The NBA, college basketball, I love the
portal.
I do love the portal, but just the fact that we don't know who's going to win anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. And then the NBA, hopefully, they'll start to adopt making guys have to play.
Absolutely.
I get it's a tougher game. It's a lot more physical, or not more physical. I think that the physicality of the game is different, and I think guys flop and do all that stuff because the refs let them do it and they get away with it. I think if you stop doing it, it's just like kids. You let your kid get away with something, they're gonna keep doing it, and then they're gonna cry and they're gonna do all that stuff. I think the text is when they teching people, that's got out of hand. Refs need to get that under control. But ultimately, I think that hopefully there's be some better changes for the NBA moving forward.
All right. Well,
yeah,
that was a good run, man. I think we're gonna have something here with this. So, but before we end the Agents of Chaos podcast, just some final words that you would have for any players out there or anybody that's like a sports person. What would be some words of encouragement that you would have for them? You drop something, then I'll drop something, and then we can add this at the end of the segment for the.
I would say when you're passionate about something, as you and I are, I don't think that there's any avenue that you should have to lock yourself into in order for you to be able to express that passion. I think that we're doing the podcast because we love sports. We do the podcast because we like talking to each other and we like talking to people about different opinions and just getting it out there. and then let people formulate their own opinions based on what we got to say. Does that make us aficionados? Does that make us legitimate end all be all? No. But everybody has an opinion and everybody makes good points. I just feel like that having an opportunity to express myself in sports, whether that's coaching, watching my kids play it, doing it myself, still going to the gym, being competitive, that fuels who I am.
Right.
So having debates and conversations about sports fuels who I am. I would do this for free. I'm doing it for free now. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that at some point you can get paid for it. And I wouldn't mind that happening either. But I'm passionate about it. And I feel like anybody that you have a passion, just find it. Find a way. I wanted to play in the league. I wanted to do a lot of things and different things happened. I didn't get the opportunity. And it shifted for me.
I got
then
you.
I started coaching.
I
still coach. Now I teach and coach. And now I'm doing podcasts and I want to do these types of things. This is not my first time. So I'm just hoping that, people can rock with us. That's all I want. People just rock with us.
So my word of advice to anybody out there, any of the young athletes, any athlete out there, anything you're doing, lock in, right? Lock all the way in on that joker, bro. I just found out that Kobe Bryant was so locked into the game of basketball that he became an official referee, to where he understood what referees did and why they had to make the calls they had to make during the game. That's a different level of thinking. Who does, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
who becomes an
that's
chess. He became an official referee because he cared so much about the game that he's like, I want to know every aspect of it. And when you do something like that, when you have that level of focus, that's where the money comes. You know what I mean? People don't pay a plumber the money that they pay them to do what they do. They pay them because I know what to fix.
Yeah.
It's not fix it. You can fix it for $50, but you called me because I know what to fix.
And
you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I know what to fix. And so that when you have that level of passion, that level of locked in, that level of focus to whatever it is that you do, there's no way you won't succeed in life and in what you're doing because you're just so locked in. So that's what I would say for that would be my little piece of advice for any athlete, for anybody and anything. Just become so locked in. I don't want to say obsessed. I don't like obsessed. You know what I'm saying? But just become so locked in and so driven in what you do that you just I mean, just you want to learn everything about what you're doing.
Yeah, funnel that energy.
That tunnel. Remember Biker Boys, where my man get on the bike and then everything go. You know what I'm saying? Get like that. When you're in the moment, you turn everything else off and just be in the moment and just lock in. I think that'll lead a lot of people to more success.
I like that, man. I like that. All right. Well, hey, great first run, bro, for this, and hopefully we'll have a lot more coming. I think that people will enjoy some of the topics that we bring up and it'll make them think, and it'll be something you can. We doing water cooler sessions. This is stuff that's gonna make you cool with your friends when you sitting out there, y'all talking trash, and you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna use that line that Brandon said. I'm gonna take that one thing that Scott said on the podcast.
On this joker.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at a perspective and be like, you know what? That brother had a good point. Let me write that down. So, hey, appreciate y'all listening, rocking with us, and hey man, in the future, continue to listen, continue to support us. We appreciate y'all. That's all I got, man.
Absolutely. That's a great way to end it out. Hey, man, like I said, this is Scott Anderson, Brandon Anderson, Agents of Chaos Podcast. Man, we gonna holler at y'all later.
Yeah.